Yeah, hello everyone, and welcome back. So today we will deep dive into one of the Angular lifecycle hook, that is ng after content init. So if you have ever used ng content for content projection, then this hook is essential for your toolkit. And in this lecture, we are going to start with what is ng after content in it, and then why we need it. And then we will move to the practical portion where I will try to show you an real world example where I will implement this ng after content in it. And I will try to crystal clear your doubts regarding this ng after content init lifecycle hook method. So with this, let's start our lecture on ng after content init lifecycle hook method. So first we will start with definition. It is a lifecycle hook provided by Angular, and it is a part of after content init interface. It means if you have to use ng after content init, then you should implement after content init interface in your component, right? So this lifecycle hook method is called once after Angular project external content into the component view after ng content is processed. So basically, ng content tag, when the ng content tag gets processed by Angular, then automatically this ng after content init lifecycle hook method get called by Angular. So guys, if you don't have much idea about this ng content tag, then you can comment it out. I will try to create a full lecture on this topic ng content tag in Angular, because I feel this is very important topic and every developer, Angular developer, basically should know about this. And this is important in respect to interview purpose also, because I have seen many in the many interviews, the interviewer wants to know whether the candidate knows about this topic or not, because this is very important in Angular. Okay, yeah. So let's move ahead. And yeah, okay. So today, what I will do, I will explain a little bit about ng content, and then if you want a full lecture on this with a proper example, with a real project example, then you can comment it out. I will try to bring out a lecture on this. So ng content is a tag in Angular which is used to create a reusable component that can accept and display the custom content passed from the parent component. So basically, when we pass a content from parent component to a child component, then we can use ng content as a content projection, right? So it is a part of content projection. So with the easy example, I can explain you that think of that ng content tag is like a placeholder in your HTML, in your Angular HTML or component template. So whatever you put inside the component tag in the parent, the Angular will the Angular will project that content into the ng content tag, or in place of ng content tag, Angular will project those content. Okay, so whatever content you are passing from parent to child, so those content will get replaced in place of ng content spot. So this is a way to reutilize your component and for projecting the content. Okay, yeah, so this is very important topic. Yeah, so we'll not go very deep, but I have just explained you what it mean by ng content in this. Okay, so let's move to the another topic about life cycle timings. So we are going to understand about the life cycle timing of this ng after content init lifecycle hook method. So basically, this lifecycle hook runs after Angular has fully initialized all content projected into the component. Once all the content are fully initialized and projected by the ng content tag, then Angular is going to automatically call this lifecycle hook. So it get call after ngOnInit lifecycle, but before ngAfterViewInit. So this is the hierarchy how these lifecycle hook methods get called. So this is very much important to understand that which lifecycle methods get called before which and after which, so that accordingly you can put your logic and you can try to implement these lifecycle hooks method, or try to use this lifecycle hook method as per your requirement or as per your business logic or requirement, right? Now we will see some scenarios or the use cases. So to perform a logic or access DOM content that has been projected using ng content. So the use case can be, suppose you are building a usable card component that accept a title from a parent component via content projection. Let's say that you want to pass a data from parent component to a child component, and then you want to project those data using ng content. Then this lifecycle hook method come into the picture. It means as the Angular will initialize and project all the content through the ng content tag, then this hook will get automatically called by Angular. It means you want to access that project content after it initialize. Maybe there you can put some locks or you can manipulate it, or you can check some conditions. So as per your requirement, you can use these lifecycle hook method as the content is projected using ng content, right? Yeah, so these are the some use cases. So today we are going to implement one scenario. Let's say that there is some content you want to pass from parent to child, and you want to project it using ng content. And also the title, the card title which you are passing from parent to child, we are going to calculate the length of the content of the title. If the length of the content of the title is greater than 20, then we have to put a warning that title is too long. So these scenarios can be achieved by using this lifecycle hook methods. Okay, so let's jump directly to the practical and let's understand, and I will try to make your concept very clear, and we will see how we can implement this using this lifecycle hook method. Okay, so we have a component. Inside component, I am going to quickly generate one component with, say, a card component. So basically card component will be my reusable component. Okay, so this card component will, here is my card component. So you can say that this is a child component, and as a parent component I am going to use demo component. So we have a demo component.html already. So this demo component, you can consider as a parent component. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to import this card component inside this demo component. All right, so it means the demo component will become my parent, and this card component which we just created will be the child component. So let me put some span, and I will put some card title, and let's create one reference variable. Let's put some text, important updates, something like this. And then inside span, let's put one paragraph, and let's display some content, something like this. This is some projected content inside the card body. So this is my, yeah, so this content is basically inside my parent component, right, inside my demo component. So let me import this. So we are going to transfer this content, and then we are going to project this content inside child component, that is card component. Okay, so we have already created one reference variable here with the card title. So we are going to use, okay, so let call, okay, before that let me implement that interface which is in like after content in it. So this is the interface we you have to implement, and then you have to override this lifecycle hook method, that is ng after content init. So today we are going to see how we can use and in which scenario it will be useful for you. Okay, so yeah, so before that let me use the content child. Okay, we will use the content child like decorator, and here we have one, let's say the name, we can put any name, let's say card title. card title. Okay, and this card title you can keep it as an static, uh, static static true. Okay, now, and this title content, let me change this to the title content. Okay, and yeah, title content, and this should undefine, and then here I'm going to use element reference. Okay, so this element reference will get imported from Angular core. All right, so this is the content reference. Okay, so this is the content child decorator I am going to use, and this is the title content as an like reference variable, you can say. Okay, which we are going to use it here. So let me implement this ng after content lifecycle hook method. Let me use some console dot log. In this we are going to say, let's say ng after content init called. Okay, so this method is called, we are going to just console it, and then another method we are going to use, let's say give the name as the projected data or projected content length, let's say length. Okay, and here we are going to see this dot title content dot we have a native element dot something, we can use text content. Okay, we have a title content, and then we have a text content also, let me see. Okay, text content dot length. So this will display the length of your content which you are passing. Okay, now let's say a scenario, there is a scenario, if you want to check the title or the content title, if the length is greater than some value, then we should warn, or we should put our own logic. So for example, let me use this dot title content dot native element dot text content dot length, let's say 20. If it is greater than 20, then it should put a warning. Let's say console dot warn. Mhm. And something like that, title is too long. Okay, so this warning you will get in console. So here you can put your own business logic as per your requirement. Okay, so this is just an example to showcase how you can use this, basically useful, this ng after content in it. Okay, we have implemented this. Yeah, we have implemented our lifecycle hook method. We have dev, we have html, demo component.html. Now inside card component.html. Okay, inside card component, let's add some div. Mm, okay, so let me put some div like this, and in this div, let's say the class we are using as a card. Okay, let's say we are using this card, and inside this we have some header. Okay, and this header I am going to use ng content. All right, ng content, and in this ng content we have one select equals to, and then we can use card title. Okay, as the card title value. All right, and now we can, inside this again we can use ng content. Okay, ng content, and this ng content we are using, right? Yeah, so this is our child class or the reusable component HTML where I'm using ng content. So basically, Angular is going to project the content from the parent to directly here, and as the projection is completed and then Angular is going to call. Okay, let me quickly do what is the problem here. Save it. Okay. There is some issue. Okay. Yeah. So we are good with this. Yeah. So Angular, yeah. Once the Angular content projection using ng content is done, then Angular is going to call this ng after content init Angular hook, and then we can check in this console how this is working. Okay. So let me just open this. Let me do ng serve again. All right. So we are running this application into a different port. Now you will see. Okay, let me open console for you. Yeah. So let me clear this, and this is some projected. Yeah, you can see this is some projected content inside card body. It is showing up. Okay. Now let me refresh again this page. So you see ng after content init called. This is the console.log we added, and also projected content we added with the length 19. It means it is now 19. That's why we are not getting any warning. Okay, let me put here. It's like greater than 20. Okay, so let me put it here. Maybe 18. Okay, if length is greater than 18, then we should get a warning. Title is too long. So I have saved this. Yeah, now you can see we are getting title is too long warning. It means our if condition is working. Yeah, so in this way, this life cycle hook method get called, and we are using checking the content length which you are projecting using ng content tag, and we are checking the length of it. According to the check, it is going to, yeah, so you can put some logic. Yeah, so these operations you can do. So this is the funda what I want to make you understand, that you can use this ng after content in it and when it should run. Basically these hooks are very important, and this hooks concept should be very clear in your mind. Then only you can decide that which lifecycle hook methods you can use at what situation, at what business logic. Then only this all things will be useful for you. Okay, I hope you got the idea about this, how to use this. So what is happening in this? So parent component demo component.html. Okay, this sends a title and the body content into the card component. Okay, using content projection, and inside card component we are using content child. Okay, content child grabs the reference to the title of the DOM here. Okay, it grabs the title, and in ng after content init lifecycle hook methods we are now safely access the projected content length by using a native element, and then we are putting our own logic and performing our logic. So use case ideas are like we are validating the child input, we can log it, we can debug it, we can dynamically style or modify the content. If you want to modify the content whatever we are passing from this demo component to the card component, then you can change the style and modify the style, right? In yeah, so it can be changing, can be dynamically. So these are the some use cases, and also you can integrate with third party libraries that need DOM references, right? So these are some use cases where this uh, ng after content init lifecycle hook method will be very useful, right? Yeah, so like I hope you got the idea about this ng after content init. So in this video we covered ng after content init, so when it runs, how to use it, and also we have seen a practical example with content projection. So this lifecycle hook is extremely useful when you are building a reusable component that accept external content. So make sure to use it wisely and keep performance in mind. This is very important. So thank you and have a nice day.